If I asked you for just 9 minutes of your attention, and in return, I could erase the fear of judgment from your mind, would you go for it? Sounds bold, right? But maybe you've never really thought about how the fear of being judged is actually what's been holding back your biggest dreams. Have you noticed how many times you've hesitated to act just because you were worried about what others might think? You might not even know who these others are. You just know they're hanging out in your head. The truth is, the fear of judgment is the coziest prison in the world. No one's yelling at you, no one's locking you up, but you're also not moving forward. You don't take risks, you don't show yourself, you don't break free. And the cruelest part? You end up being a prisoner of your own self-censorship, trying to please an audience that most of the time isn't even paying attention. If you're feeling tired of hiding, of holding back your true self to avoid misunderstandings, this video is going to turn your world upside down. Not with cliches, but with truths you've never had the courage to face until now. People say they fear judgment, but what really terrifies them is exposure. It's not, what will they think of me? It's, what if they see who I really am? Some people spend their lives hiding behind manufactured versions of themselves just to avoid that risk. It's like the whole world is a stage and their biggest fear is dropping the mask in the middle of the performance. The funny thing? Even with all that fear, what they desire most is to be seen and loved for who they truly are. The fear of judgment is often just a disguise for the fear of rejection. Being judged for a character is bearable, but being rejected for who you really are, that hurts deep down. That's why so many freeze up when it comes to exposing themselves, presenting a project, sharing an idea, speaking in public, showcasing a talent. Their minds race. What if they laugh? What if they criticize? What if I'm not good enough? This freeze comes from the risk of exposure, not the judgment itself. Those who understand this take the first step toward overcoming it. Because once you realize that judgment isn't the problem, but the fear of being seen, everything changes. You start to shift from emotional survival mode to building mode. No longer running from others' gazes, but learning to hold your own. And that's where the next point comes in. That thought that lives in your head, the one you think is the whole world judging you. Most people live believing they're being judged by others. But the reality is, the biggest judge is the voice inside their own heads. That critical voice saying, "You're not good enough." They'll laugh at you. Why try if it's going to fail? It's not coming from outside, it's yours. And the craziest part is that many times this voice was built from past experiences of rejection, childhood criticisms, or even invisible comparisons that piled up over the years. And here's what happens. The person grows up, but that voice still controls everything. They want to record a video, but they freeze. They want to confess their feelings, but they stay silent. They want to change their life, but they self-sabotage. Because every time they try to step out of their comfort zone, that voice pops up to remind them they don't have the right profile, that others are better, or that they'll fail again. And the worst part? They think that voice represents the world, but it's just the echo of their own insecurity. The key to personal improvement starts when you identify that voice and stop obeying everything it says. A great exercise is to write down everything it says on a piece of paper, read it out loud, and ask yourself, would I say this to someone I love? If the answer is no, then why say it to yourself? Changing that internal dialogue is like swapping a dirty lens for a clean one. The next breakthrough comes when you realize that, besides not being judged by everyone, maybe no one is even looking. It sounds silly, but we live as if we're the stars of a reality show that only exists in our heads. You walk into a room and think everyone noticed your hair, your clothes, the pimple on your chin. But here's the truth. Almost no one noticed, because everyone is too busy dealing with their own dilemmas, insecurities, and personal dramas. The fear of judgment is fed by an illusion that we're the center of attention all the time. In practice, no one is measuring your every move like you imagine. The woman you thought laughed at you, she probably just remembered something funny from the day before. The colleague who looked at you oddly, maybe they're worried about a late bill. Most people are focused on themselves, not on monitoring others. When this realization hits, an unexpected freedom comes. You no longer have to carry the weight of pleasing everyone all the time. And here's a fundamental point for anyone seeking real growth. When you realize you're not being watched all the time, you start to act with more courage. You allow yourself to try something new, to fail, to learn, to improve. The freedom to be who you are only emerges when the prison of others' gazes begins to crumble. And it's in this space that something rare and valuable grows. True freedom. That which comes from within and shapes your way of living. True freedom doesn't come when you achieve everything you wanted. It arrives the moment you let go of what was holding you back. And most of the time, what traps you isn't a visible cell, but the expectations of others. The idea that you need to do, appear, speak, and live in a way that pleases. When a person understands they can simply stop trying to please, a new space opens up inside them, the space of authenticity. This freedom is quiet. It doesn't need an announcement, it doesn't need an audience. It expresses itself in small gestures. When you decline an invitation because you need to rest. When you choose an outfit you love, even if it's out of style. When you record a video that's truly you without following the right way to speak. It's in these daily choices that you stop living as a character and start living your own truth. And this truth isn't about perfection, it's about presence. A person who frees themselves from the illusion of external judgment begins to live lightly. Not lightly as in having no problems, but lightly as in not carrying the weight of being what they're not. This freedom becomes a way of life. Gradually the focus shifts. It stops being, "What will they think of me?" and becomes, "What do I think of myself?" And it's at this point that the biggest battle reveals itself. The cruelest judgment rarely comes from outside. It comes from within, and it's usually relentless. It's that thought that says, "You should be further along. You didn't do enough. No one will take you seriously." And the most paradoxical part is that while a person tries to escape external judgment, they're actually destroying themselves inside with criticisms that wouldn't make sense if they came from someone else. The prison of self-criticism is one of the most disguised ones because it seems rational, but it's emotional sabotage. Anyone looking to achieve true personal growth needs to understand this. The voice that paralyzes you isn't from others, it's yours. And as long as you listen to it more than to your accomplishments, you'll continue to feel small. A powerful practice is to start recording your daily victories, no matter how small. Did you do something you've been avoiding for days? Write it down. Did you manage to stay calm where you used to explode? Celebrate it. Little by little, you'll teach your mind to see you with more compassion and less judgment. This shift in focus brings a freedom that no external approval can offer. Because when you stop seeking applause and start seeking coherence between what you think, feel, and do, you reconcile with yourself. And this reunion is more powerful than any compliment. After all, when peace resides within, even the noise outside loses its strength. So tell me, after all this, are you still going to keep hiding out of fear of judgment? Are you really going to let a voice inside your head decide how far you can go? Or is it time to silence that inner critic, lift your head high, and show the world who you are, fearlessly, without masks, without excuses? How many opportunities have you missed out on because of the fear of being seen? How many times have you sabotaged yourself just to avoid standing out? It's intense, I know, but the truth sets you free. So here's a direct question. Are you ready to live a life where your opinion of yourself matters more than anyone else's? Because if the answer is yes, the journey starts now, and you're not alone. If this message resonated with you, if it touched something inside, then subscribe to the channel, turn on notifications, and share this video with someone who needs this shift. Because what you've learned here isn't just anything. It's the kind of knowledge that transforms, and I'm here to guide you on the next step.